Welcome you all. This is the fifth lecture in the BJT series. In this lecture, we will study the common collector configuration. So before that, we have studied the basic of the BJT and common emitter configuration, common base configuration, and now common collector configuration, in which we have studied input characteristics curve, output characteristics curve, and current equations. After this fifth lecture, we will move to the FET and then some problems. Okay. So, what the common collector configuration is? What will the current equation? What will the input and output characteristics for this configuration? And finally, the comparison of all these three configurations. When you have to wisely select at what application you will use CB, you will use C, you will use CC. So this is a common collector configuration, and you know that we have done all this configuration for the NPN transistor. And I told you for practice, try for the PNP transistor. Nothing is going to change except the directions. So in the NPN transistor, the one end N will be the emitter, then P will be the base, and the N will be the collector. As it is NPN transistor, so base and collector in the side, the current will enter and the current will come out from the emitter in. These are the practice of the NPN transistors. There are two junctions. There is one is emitter base junction, that is J1, and then there is a collector base junction, that is J2. So J1 is the emitter base, J2 is the collector base. And so there is one reason is called BC, base collector, and one reason is called emitter collector, because collector is common. And I told you already why I have written why VBB, why I write this. There is a reason. Okay, since there is no resistance shown in this circuit diagram, that's why it's a VBB, because there is no other drop of the voltage. The total voltage will be this only. This is the input. Again, similarly, this end there is no resistance. There is no voltage drop other. So this will be the VEE. But if there will be a voltage drop, okay, then the voltage drop from by that side. So basically here if you see, when I'm saying VEE, that is similar to the VCE. Whatever VCE, C and E in voltage dropout is similar to the VEE, because there is no other resistance part here. But if I will put some resistance, then there will be change. Then the VCE, total VE will be the VCE plus current into resistance. So I've studied this, and we have discussed this so many times. Just for the putting an example, I'm doing this. Okay. So since we want to use all these configuration as an amplifier, and hence we need to use this in active mode, and I know if it is active mode, then my J1 should be this J1. This J1 should be in the forward bias, that is the emitter base, and J2, that is collector base, should be in the reverse bias. So for active mode, emitter base junction is, let me try to use this. Emitter base junction should be in the forward bias, and the collector base junction is reverse bias. So from last 4 lectures, I'm talking the same thing. Okay. So emitter base is forward, collector base is reverse. So we are not going to use any new information. Okay. So based whatever we have studied, using those information, we have to design this new configuration, and that's what the learning should be. No need to learn new things. Okay. You need to learn. I'm not saying new things. You need to learn the new fact. Okay. So what I was talking about, why I should write, when I should write VCB, when I should write VBB. So since when I say it is base emitter, voltage across base in collector end, that is called VCB, it means, okay, there will be, if you will put a some load between these two, okay, then again if I will write VBB is equal to VCB plus, this is a base current IB and some resistance I1, because that resistance you will put between these two, that will take some voltage drop out. Okay. Now you can see that this is the input variable, this is your input end, this is your output end. So if I talk about the input end, my input current is IB, my input voltage is VCB, and if I see that again, your input current is IB and input voltage is VCB. This is what is written here. Your output current is IE, output voltage is VC. See that? Now if I have to draw the input status curve, then that will be the whole graph between these two terminals, sorry, these two parameters, okay, for different VCE. And if I have to draw the output status curve, the graph between these two parameters are the different input current. Okay, we'll see study this later. So this equation, we know that this is a simple NPN transistor equation where we say IE is, that is the outgoing current, and IB and IC are the incoming current in the BJT circuit. So IE is equal to IB plus ICB using the Kirchhoff current law. And also we know that from the second lecture, that IC is equal to alpha IE plus ICB, common base configuration, where we use the common base configuration and the concept of current amplifier. So now I have this equation also. Now I can do simple mathematics. Take this IC and put here in the equation first. So what will happen? This will be the IE, IB plus, instead of IC, I will write this one. This is alpha I plus ICB. And I'll do simple method. This will go this side, and some this type of mathematics will come. 1 minus alpha I is equal to IB plus ICBO. Okay. So to know I will divide by this 1 minus alpha, and so this will become the IB upon 1 minus alpha, and this will become the ICB upon 1 minus alpha. So 1 minus alpha is nothing but the beta plus 1. We have not done this expression. Okay, we have used this expression in the common base. Sorry, common emitter. So now 1 upon 1 minus alpha I can written as a beta 1 plus 1. So it is beta plus 1. This is also beta plus 1 ICBO. Now I'll use some more assumption. So in that more assumption, we'll see that I is equal to IB plus IC, so we will divide by the IB. Okay, so when you divide in this equation by IB, that is I by IB is equal to 1 plus IC by IB. Now you see that this I by IB, okay, and this IC by IB, this IC by IB is nothing but the current amplification in the common emitter configuration, because in the common emitter configuration, your input was base current and output was collector current. So that is why this is beta. This is nothing but the beta. And what is here I and IB? In I and IB, the output is if this is the output and this is the input, and that happens only in the case of common collector. Okay, so this is the current ratio or current amplification factor in the common collector. At that we can say that this is nothing but the gamma. So gamma, and this is what? Beta. So gamma is equal to 1 plus beta. See that? And now if this is gamma is equal to 1 plus beta, then 1 plus beta can be written as a gamma. Now the expression can come at the end here. I will use the spotlight. Expression can be used here. See that I is equal to gamma IB plus gamma ICBO, and gamma ICBO I will write as a ICO because now it is a common emitter. Okay, so we know that the 1 plus beta ICBO is nothing but the ICO. Okay, so this is what ICO. So this is the expression, that is I is equal to gamma IB plus ICO. I think it should be the ICCO. Um, let me check that. Okay, so that is correct. So beta plus 1 ICBO is only ICU. Okay, so now we'll go to input characteristic curve. As I told, if you want to draw the input characteristic curve, you need to draw the graph between these two variables. Okay, we need to draw the graph between these two variables IB and VCB for constant for different VCE. And okay, so if you see this curve, so this is the graphical representation between the IB and VCB. This is IB and this is VCB. IB is the base curve, so that will be in the micron order. Okay, for different VCE. So you can see that your VCE, this VCE is nothing but the VCB plus VBE. Okay, base collector emitter, voltage of the collector emitter is the collector base plus base emitter. Now, if this VC should be constant, see this graph. Okay, you are drawing a graph between the IB and VCB for different VCE, and that VC is constant for one curve. If the VC is constant, okay, and you are increasing the VCB, you are increasing the VCB. So see that the VCB I am increasing. If you are increasing the VCB, your IB should be reducing one. That is the early effect. If you go to the third and fourth lecture where we talked about the early effect, and we told how by increasing the VCB. So when we increase VCB, that was the reverse bias voltage, and by this reverse bias voltage, what happened? Junction, the depression layer, the width was increasing, and that depression layer width was basically more penetrating in the base region, and hence your depletion layer is more in the base region. So effective base region is reduced, and that's why the base current is reduced. It's an early effect. I have talked in each configuration. So as you are increasing the VCB, your base current is decreasing. And see that if I am increasing this VCB from here to here, increasing the VCB, now my IB is reducing. So at this point, IB is maximum, so VC is minimum. So when I'm increasing the VCB, okay, my IB is reducing. And that is for one constant VC. Another constant VC, it will take the 6 volt. Okay. So in that case, for different VCB, it will start decreasing. Okay. Because once you will increase the VCE, in the same manner your VCB will increase. And that is why for 6 volt it is shifted here. It is now reducing, we start from here, not only here. Okay. And it will go for the output characteristic curve. It is as simple. As I told, output variable are the emitter and collector emitter voltage. If you see, if I would draw the graph between the emitter and the VC. Now, as I know, IC is nothing but the alpha IE. And we know this. see that in the first part only, in the common base we have studied the IC is equal to alpha IE. Okay, and plus something is there also, the this reverse saturation current, but that's very less. That is the microamp, so we do the negligible in that amount. Now the IC is equal to alpha I, and we know alpha is near about 0.95 to 0.98, and hence IC's I is same. Okay, so instead of drawing the curve between the I and VC, basically you are drawing the curve between the IC and this IC and VC, this IC and VC for different value of IP. And if you will remember, okay, in the common base configuration, what was in common base? What was the final output? What is the output variables? Output variables is the common collector, collector current. And what is your output voltage? So in that case, your output voltage is, see that if you see in the common configuration, I will show you, then you can understand. So common, see that in a common output characteristics is VC and VC. That is, these are the output variables. These are the output variables because here the base is the emitter. Here the common is an emitter. So output is a collector. So collector voltage. So curve is you are drawing in output characteristics for the common emitter. You are drawing IC and VC. For the common collector, what we are trying, we should draw between the I and VC. But I told I and IC is same because alpha is one, near about one. So instead of I am drawing the curve between the IC and VC, and hence and at the for the different IB, and hence the output characteristics of the common emitter and common collector is the same. You can see that in common collector you have to draw the graph between the IE and VC for different IB. But since there is a relation between IE and IC, that IE is equal to alpha IC. Okay, so something is wrong here. So basically, it is IC should be alpha I. You can write this way. Okay, because I is a bigger current. I is equal to IB plus IC. So IC is equal to alpha plus IB. So since alpha is equal to 1, nearby 1.95 and 1.98. So these both are same. So instead of IC, I can write, sorry, instead of IE, okay, I can write IC. See that I can write IC. And if I write IC, it is nothing but the output characteristic curve of the common emitter configuration. So this part, see that. So that's what we were telling, that for all the practical purpose, the output characteristics of common emitter and output characteristics of common base is same. Okay, we will talk about the use of the CC configuration. For the impedance matching, because the high impedance input impedance and low output impedance. How do you know there's a high input impedance? You have idea how why the for impedance matching, your input impedance has high value and output impedance is low value. I have discussed this in both lectures, so this is the homework for you to get this statement correctly. You can recheck. It can use as a buffer amplifier, okay, and also it can use emitter follower circuit because output follows emitter. What is your output? It's emitter, right? So whatever the output is, it follows the emitter. So voltage gain, and the voltage gain of the common collector configuration is slightly less than 1, because it will take the voltage gain. It is nothing but the VCE. So VCE is the output voltage. So VCE divided by VBE. See that? Here. So it is VCE divided by the VCB. Okay. So now it will divide the VC divided by VCB, and you will see one mathematics I have done here. See that. So it is VC divided by VCB. So is equal to 1 plus VBE divided by the VCB. And this is what is called current gain. This is what is called, sorry, voltage gain. Okay. So if you'll see that why we have used this circuit as an emitter follower circuit, because output follows the emitter. Whatever the emitter will be, that will be the output, because the output is from the emitter. So we'll go to the comparison part. So circuit input and output characteristics. These all I have discussed in different sections of the common base, common emitter, and common. All these terms we have discussed. What I'm going to, I have listed here. We have discussed already, but now for a point of concern, I've listed at the one place. So these three things we have done in the different sections. Now go to current again. In common base, it is alpha, that is very low because value is 0.95 to 0.98, not even 1. In common emitter, it is beta, okay, that is medium value, okay, and you know the relation between alpha and beta. And the common collector, and this value goes to some 150 till 150. And common collector, that's gamma, you know the relation between gamma and beta. Beta plus 1 was gamma, so that's the highest value. Now if you see the voltage gain, so voltage gain in the case of common base will be the highest one, okay, because the current gain is the lowest one. So it will be 200 to 2000. In common emitter, that is both, it's high, 100 to 500. In the case of common collector, since your current gain is highest, so your and voltage gain is the less than 1, and that is the low. And if you see the power gain, current multiplied by voltage, okay, so this is lowest, this is highest, so that power gain will be the medium. This is both is high, so that is the highest one. This voltage gain is so low, so even this gamma is high, this will come to low. Now you will see the output resistance. In the case of the common base, output resistance is very high. Why? Because it is a output in reverse biasing. This is also high, but in this case, output resistance is very low. And in the case of the common collector, input resistance is high. Okay, but in the case of the common base, input resistance is low because it is in the forward bias. So that's what you have to take the use the concept. If it is forward bias, it should be the high. If it is reverse bias, it's sorry. If it is the forward bias, your resistance should be low, and if it is the reverse bias, your resistance should be high. So you can check. If it is high, then it means that it is the reverse bias. And the other term is phase. So both this common collector and the common emitter is in the same phase, but common base is out of phase, that is 180. The last point, why BZT as a current control device? BZT is a current control device because if you see all these output characteristics are depends on the determined by the input current, and that is why it is called current control device, because your output is controlled by input current. So by this way we are done with the this chapter, that's called the BZT. Now if you have any question, You can write in the comment box or you can WhatsApp me that after this section, we are going to study the fate. So for fate, you should be very clear about the BJT concept. So I will recommend you, please go through again all these 5 lectures. Okay, listen this again and again. If you have still there is some confusion, some point of correction, you just write there in a comment box in YouTube channel, or you can message me personally also. I will see if how I can explain you again in a more easy way. See, if I told you in the first lecture only, the most of the students learn this part. When you say transistor, they learn. Okay, they mug up. Learning is a good word, so I will say mug up. And that's why I'm talking about the science guy. Even I don't know engineering word, but they also do the same. If they are not understand it. But they have a higher version. So at some point they have to test. We don't have that. There's nothing like testing. We just give an exam and then that is that. We got the number and then we realize that okay, we know the visibility. But that's not the point. So you have to be very much clear about the concept. There should not be a single line that you have to learn. You have to mug up. There is the reason behind each curve. There is a reason behind each statement, and that reason you have studied in the first 3-4 pages. That's it. After that, you have just built the exercise. You have just built a whole chapter. So try to practice this so that later, if at any time you want to do the visiting, don't will take time to revise. That's because you have to understand that. The similar case will be happening in the case of the APT also. Okay. Okay. So by these words, I will say you thank you to you and best of luck. I will start with the FIT also, and we'll see that what we can do next time. After FIT, I will do some problems also. That till here I'm concerned that I will do this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.